a tough one. We were chatting via text with a guy named Daniel, and thankfully he could offer us a little bit of time this morning. If you missed his dilemma, he's a medical examiner, and he's the kind of the person that's got to technically figure out how somebody passed away. But here's the dilemma.
Recently, I had one of my friends. They were saying that I should be truthful in telling how it actually happened.
And he's admitted that he's just been lying to families for years and years and years, saying it was peaceful.
So saying lying has a connotation that you're wanting to bring harm or mislead somebody.
That's just not the truth.
It's not the truth, but there are levels of lying, and I could get behind Daniel's lying. He just wants to make sure that the last moment in these loved ones' minds is not their loved ones suffering and writhing in pain for hours and hours. He just says, no, they went quick. It was quick, and I'm totally okay with that.
Tanya, would you be okay with being lied to in this situation?
So, no. Well, maybe. So here's the thing.
Okay.
My sister was killed by her husband.
Okay.
And so I wouldn't want to know if she suffered unless I had to go to court.
Yeah. Okay. So
then I would want to know.
Somebody had texted kind of that same thing. Jill said, I'm with Kat. Lie to me. Don't lie to the police, though, that are investigating,
Right.
because that could help in a court.
Well, how do you
case.
feel then all of a sudden they lie to you, and now you got these documents that pop out and say it was gory and they bled to death over the course of so many hours?
Then you say, sorry, I'm human. I messed up.
Yeah. Well,
So
well, no. See, because when you're grieving, here's how I look at it. When you're grieving, the process is going to help you. It's going to help you feel better. You feel better. And then when you go to court, you're going to grieve again anyway.
Yeah.
You're going to have to go through it again anyway.
I don't know.
You're
and
kind of
then-
What
saying
if you don't go to court? What if you don't go to court and you can live the rest of your life knowing that? What if it's
Exactly.
your son
Then I think.
or daughter?
Then I think. Don't tell me.
Yeah, right.
Just tell me. Tell me. He died quick.
If I were a medical examiner,
then-
I would
then
honestly
that way.
just say, I'm sorry, I got it wrong. After.
Yeah.
In case it does go to
Yep.
court. But,
Afterwards. Yep.
well, now your credibility's on the line.
well, I don't know. If he gets
Well, I
all
wouldn't
the
say
information.
that I got it wrong.
Yeah.
I would just say that I was trying to ease your guys' mind at the time.
Yeah. You could say that.
There's
and
gotta
I think
be
That's what I would say.
So I'm not comparing our job by any means to life or death, but when somebody calls with a really wonky request, or they call with the song that we just played 3 seconds ago, I go, yep, I'll get that on the list for you. I don't say yes. I don't say no. I'm going to assume somewhere in the medical, what is he called? Medical examiner dictionary or guidebook, there's certain phrases or sayings that will not commit you to something, but yet be able to ease the family.
There's nothing like this.
I would bet there is. I just don't think you can lie. In a medical situation, I don't think you can lie. That's the same as going to your oncologist, and when they tell you have cancer, and they're like, "Oh yeah, no problem. We're gonna take care of this easy."
Lying
like they
would
can't
be,
do that.
No, there wasn't blunt force trauma to the head. No, that would be a lie if there
Right.
was.
Right. I agree, Kat.
Yeah.
Because if you think about how do you know if they actually suffered? Because maybe on some off chance they didn't actually suffer.
Yeah. Yep.
Because we don't know that for sure. Right.
Exactly. Yep.
Lying would be the blunt force trauma.
But what
Well,
if that
you
knocked
never
them
know.
out and they just bled out while they were asleep? And that's how they
Exactly.
died. So it's
agree.
true.
I
I'm
agree.
Team Daniel on this, and I think he's making the right decision.
Me too.
The wrong decision was to tell other people about it. Because
Yeah, I agree. Well,
I do
that's
too.
you know what that is. That's having a beer with your friends and being like, "Hey, this
Yeah.
is a really messed up situation. I just told the family everything was really quick," and all of a sudden now they're holding it over your heads. You're right. You got it. But imagine all of that, like going home with that. Like we get off the air, just go home, play with our kids.
Right.
Like you're taking that home with you every single day. I bet.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you
And
waited.
I couldn't do that.
Well, I appreciate you being in Switzerland today and playing both sides. That was fun. She doesn't know how to react to it.
Team
All right,
Cat,
hey,
got
thanks,
it.
Tanya. I do appreciate you calling.